Now scream queen with a million smiles. Catching all the love from around the world. Whoa. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? Shine your light in the darkest times. You make it bright, here bright. Livestream dreams, we're all by your side, by your side. You're doing what you do, girl. You're one of a kind, one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're our livestream star, star. Keep rocking your show, no matter where you are. From the block, Jersey girl with a mouth that won't stop, no, no. Sassy, and I'm not afraid to show it. Gonna spill the tea, you better be ready for it. I speak my mind, no filter inside. Jelly's in the house, talking trash and truth, trash and truth. No sugar coated blues. Something to lose. Shelly's in the house, time to break the rules. Break the rules. To the city, I'm the queen of cool. You can handle the heat, then take the high. Shelly's in the house, drop the mic. Hey, Shelly in the house tonight. Living it up, feeling so right. Yeah. New Jersey girl, she's got that style. Livestream queen with a million smiles. And she know the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? It's time to make it right. Livestream queens with a wayside. You're one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're a livestream star. Keep rocking the show no matter where you are.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is October. Finally, it's October 1st, 2024, 12:03 p.m. on the East Coast, and I am coming to you from Pennsylvania. Once again, this is Shelly, your mouthy mama, talking trash and truths. This is Coffee and Chaos with T3. That's me. I haven't been streaming regularly. I'm trying to get back to that. And I had something planned for today. But last night, I watched a stream of somebody that I greatly admire, the lead attorney, and I watched him reveal the struggle he's been having over the last year or so with cancer. And I felt compelled to change my stream. While October is Mental Health Awareness Month, for my own mental health, I felt the need to do this stream because I listened to him and I listened to all the things he went through. And I realized that there's so many of us out there suffering from something, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, financial, whatever. And we're all jumping through hoops, just trying to make it. I really enjoy the lead attorney. I have spent the last few months glued to his coverage of the Fannie Willis trial, like that whole debacle. It's not her trial, but I mean, it's like the whole debacle going on over there. And Young Thug's trial. And I'm glad he has AV to the seventh power to support him, step up, and, really cover when he can't, and, to be his friend, to be his, his source of strength, one of his many sources of strength. He's got an amazing community, and I'm happy to be a part of that community. And I just really enjoy him. I mean, he really does. He's got manners, y'all. Manners. He's got manners. He's a Southern boy. He's got manners. And he's got the best smile on the internet. I first found him watching Nick Rekieta. Nick and Drex had him on, and it was this stream was hilarious. It was, let's just say, there was lactation talk involved, but it was definitely unforgettable. And after that, I was hooked. I was a fan. Um, he's a very generous person, very friendly, very honest. And he's somebody that you would never think just went through the most tormented physical battle and mental battle that one can really go through. One of the worst things you could go through, because he never stopped smiling. He never stopped giving of himself. He never stopped reaching out and lifting people up. And seeing him so vulnerable, so unsure of what he's done, where he's at, where he's going, it spoke to me because I've been there. I'm still there. I'm there every day. And it occurred to me that there's many people out there in the same boat. So he shared his story. I'm going to share some of mine because I know I explained to you guys sporadically what's going on, but it really has been a journey. And there are people out there struggling. They're struggling to figure out what's going on and how to, heal themselves or how to just be who they were. And there's a lot to unpack. So let me just real quick say hi to my lovely chat. I love you guys. Hey, Lady Awesome. How you doing? She's good to see you. Wolfram, I'm glad you're here, honey. She's all with the love and hugs. I got Wolfram dropping links, loping in and howling because I love it. I love it. We got Cool Gamer. How you doing, honey? Welcome, welcome. Suzanne saying hello. T3. Hello, Suzanne. How's Canada doing? They treating you good up there? I hope so. Uh, Lady Awesome said, "Girl, I was in tears." Yeah, his stream. I cried so many damn times. It was ridiculous. Um, but yeah, we'll continue to be there for the lead attorney and continue to send prayers if you can. Just send out some healing energy and some prayers to the lead attorney, the lead attorney. And check out his stream. Check out his channel. Give him some support over there. He should be streaming right now. He's doing the Young Thug trial, which is always a wonderful time watching the Atlanta court system just completely lie and be disingenuous and slimy. They're worse than the criminals they try to put away. But it's like, ugh. Anyway. So he's over there doing that. If you can, hop over there, say hi, give him your best wishes, send him some prayers and healing. I'd very much appreciate it. Gutters Pub, how you doing, honey? Lady Awesome, I was on time. I almost wasn't because, my mother can be a pain. Heidi, welcome, Heidi. Good to see everybody. I'll be listening, lurking while I run errands since I'm borrowing my mom's vehicle for a few hours. I know that feeling. Gutters Pub, who? The lead attorney. He is a retired lawyer from Atlanta. He lives in Atlanta. He's super sweet, super funny. Right up your alley. You would love him. He's amazing. He's got a huge channel, but huge by our standards and everything, not by like the beast standards. But he is one of the top earners on YouTube, and he gives it his all. And he does mention in his video last night that he did that were he not a YouTuber, he probably would not have survived the cancer that he had because he wouldn't have had the time or the energy or the money to seek the treatments that he got. And if he was still a practicing lawyer full time, because he did lawyering for 20 years, he was a divorce, family law kind of guy. He would have stressed himself out too much. He wouldn't have had time to go for 3-hour sessions in a hospital for chemo every week for months and months and months on end. He wouldn't have been able to go for all the biopsies and the They actually hit him with the second round of chemo with like stem cell therapy where they like give him fatal doses of really bad medicines and then try to rebuild. And he talked about, he doesn't know who he is right now because he can't do any of the things he did before because he spent his whole life really, really healthy. And this came out of nowhere. Just bent to get into his car one day, heard a pop, felt like he got shot. And then it took them damn near, I think, a year to figure out even what the hell was wrong with him. So yeah, it was a tough stream to sit through. It was a 4-hour stream, and whew, it hit me hard. Lady Awesome Sky. But I do recommend you guys go over the lead, like the head, like the lead attorney. I absolutely adore this man. He's he's awesome. He really is. Lady said it hit me unexpectedly right in the feels. Yep. Yep. Tough check at you again, Heidi. It gets me all the time on the mobile devices. On the laptop, not so much, but on the mobile devices, I forget. And it's not, it says all messages, but it's not really all messages. It's just stop messages. Uh, Lady Awesome said, I found him during the Depp Heard trials and I fell for the lead attorney. Then he spoke Spanish and I was in love with him. Yep. When he's like, no me gusta. Like, he makes me laugh. He always makes me laugh. If I'm in a really upset or bad mood and I don't have my winning, uh, I'll go over there and I'll play one of the trial things that I haven't seen or whatever, and it always makes me laugh. He's just got a way about him. He's just a real likable guy. He really is. And he tells you, he goes, I will tell you everything. I am not holding back. I'll interpret. I'll tell you the things you don't even want to know. I put the whole thing in your mouth. He always makes me laugh when he says that. But yeah, I found him through Nick and Drex. And it was a glorious stream. But I sent him a couple messages throughout his stream, um, just wishing him well, giving support, and he talks about not having the strength sometimes, and I kind of wish he understood just how much strength he'll find in his online community because they're there, we're there, we're going to keep coming back. It doesn't matter if he's sick. It doesn't matter if he's not, full of like pep and vigor. Like we're still going to be there, because that's what we do. Those of us that truly care. And I know a little bit about that because I have an awesome community, and I find a lot of strength and solace in you guys, in talking to you. And there are some who go away, but they always come back, even just for a visit. And it's like, I feel like this is like, you know, grandma's house. Like, you could always go away, have your life, come back. And I'm just happy to see you. I don't care how long you've been away. I'm just happy you came back for a visit. Just sit a spell. That's it. Uh, but yeah, he made me think when I woke up this morning. I was like, oh, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? And I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it. And I wanted to talk to you guys about the journey. He went on this journey he didn't expect, and I did as well. None of you know me before YouTube, obviously, but I was so different. I was the it girl. And I'm not being conceited about it. I never fit society's, norms because I didn't want to. I honestly didn't want to. I wanted to be my own person, and I was. I was independent. I took care of everybody. I didn't care if I knew you 5 minutes or 5 years. I took care of you. I fed you. I listened to your problems. I gave you advice. You know, I did favors all the time with absolutely no expectation of anybody doing anything in return. I put everything out there and I enjoyed taking care of everybody. It was my purpose in life. That's why I went into teaching, because taking care of other people, making them better, teaching and giving them confidence and giving them a reason to like pursue things every day. That's what I wanted to do with my life. And I was good at it. I enjoyed it. It was my purpose. It kept me going. I was up, 4 or 5 o'clock every morning. I got those kids ready out the door. Everybody went to school. I went to work, did a full day's work, took care of everybody there, took care of the kids, took care of the teachers, took care of the other aides, took care of the damn principals. I mean, I had principals who would call me mom because it was just like they lost their mom and they just latch on to me. And it was like, okay. And it didn't matter that I was younger than them. It didn't matter that, we barely knew each other. They knew that they were safe with me. They knew that I had them because I've always been strong. I've been strong as far as my personality. Many people, yeah, they like to describe me as she has a strong personality, which means I'm bossy, um, and can be a bitch. But it's nice to say I have a strong personality. But I was always strong in my energy, in my body. I've never been this wilting flower. I never asked anybody, "Hey, can you help me lift this or that?" I'd find a way to do it my damn self. I never said, "Hey, can you, go hang this in my house or go fix it?" I just did it myself. I did everything myself. I was energetic. I was cheerful. I always had a joke for somebody. I was always making people laugh. I was raising 2 kids, both special needs kids. Very, that's very time consuming. I worked full time. I went back to school. I got a degree. I did all these things. We had extracurriculars. I volunteered. I had social relationships. I had romantic relationships. I had sex, which was nice. I missed that. And it's just like I had all these things going for me. And the pandemic hit and we were locked up. And because Katie, my daughter, is not immunocompromised, but she's systemically compromised. She couldn't get the vax. Well, she could. They wanted her to. I didn't want her to because I didn't know how her body would interpret it. And they kept pushing for this vax, 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 vax. They had me convinced after locking me up in the house for 2 years, that if I didn't do this, I was basically signing my daughter's death warrant if I didn't get this vax. And if I didn't get the jab, I couldn't go to work on Fridays. It was a half day and they docked my pay and it was every week. And it was a lot of hassle. And I was like, you know what? I've had so many vaccinations. They're saying it's safe. It's the government, right? Like, this is where my mind was at. I can trust them because I wasn't knowing. I didn't know any of the stuff I know now. And I went and Connor and I both got jabbed. That was in March 2021. Now, Connor, knock wood, has had no consequences to his jabs, and we're going to keep it that way. He will never get jabbed again. My first shot went fine. There was no change. I couldn't feel any different, And then exactly 1 month later, they made me get the second one, and I had this giant ball in my arm, this huge baseball-sized lump that hurt, and it was hot, and it was hard, and the doctor's like, "Oh, it'll go down, it's fine." Oh, okay. But immediately, like, within a couple weeks, and I mean, that ball stayed there for, like, 3 weeks, almost for a month, and it was noticeable, like, people saw it, and I was embarrassed by it. But by that summer, like, a couple months later, I noticed that I was getting, like, leg weakness. I would get up to, like, walk around, and I'd get so tired. And, like, my emotions were all over the place, and I was like, "You know what? It's just, you've been locked up in this house for so long. Don't worry, work starts again. We're going back to school in September. Everything will be fine." Well, from September 2021 to December, I went through so many changes. I started getting headaches. I was low energy. I was getting panic attacks 3, 4 a day. I had brain fog, forgetfulness. There was stiffness in my hips and my hands. My hands would cramp up, and I do art like for people all the time. That was my therapy. My escape is art. And I couldn't hold a paintbrush. I couldn't hold a crayon. I couldn't draw a straight line. The tremors got worse and worse, and I went to the doctor. Doctor said, "Oh," she was like, "Oh, you're just tired. Your blood work, it's gonna come back fine. Don't worry about it." Never mentioned my blood work again. Just told me I needed rest and that I was feeling fragile emotionally. She said I needed therapy. Okay, I get a therapist. I get a shrink. I see them. I see the shrink once a month. I see the therapist 3 times a week. At first, and the shrink puts me on meds for anxiety and depression and tells me that I need to take a leave of absence from work because I went to work and completely broke down. Literally screamed in my principal's face because he was in a bad mood and took it out on me. And I screamed, "God damn it, Charles, I'm fucking broke." And I broke down into tears and I didn't stop crying for like 4 hours. And he made me go home. And I still couldn't stop crying. I couldn't control anything. I couldn't navigate my way up steps because I couldn't bend my knee. I couldn't even lift my leg. I had no strength to go from the street onto the sidewalk. This little 4-inch curb, I couldn't navigate it. Couldn't do it. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse. I go back to the doctor. She runs all these tests. Everything's fine. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. She says, "Well, you know what? It could be that you had, coof and it's lingering. You need your booster." Now, this is a doctor. I was raised to trust doctors. All right. April 2022, I go get my booster. Within a week, I could not lift a glass of water to my mouth. I couldn't hold a pen. I couldn't stand without my legs shaking so bad that I would collapse. And the pain in the joints, because now my shoulders are swollen, my elbows, all my knuckles, my feet are starting to swell. And I tell her all this, and she's like, "Oh, no, well, all right, we'll do more tests. But you have your yearly tests you have to do. So I'm going to send you for those first." So she sends me for a mammogram, comes back. They stop the mammogram, and they're all kibitzing together behind the glass wall. And I'm standing there going, "Well, fuck." Because I've had mammograms many times. And as much as they're painful and just torturous, because there's got to be a better way to do that. They've never stopped them in the middle. They're just, "Okay, good, you're clear, bye," and that's it. I just leave. And now I have like 3 technicians and 2 doctors standing there looking very concerned. And I'm like, "Well, fuck." So they tell me I have to get an ultrasound because they found masses. Not a mass, masses. The first doctor said a mass, and then they came back and said, "No, well, there's more than one, but they're very close together, so it might just be a shadow of one." So they do the ultrasound. They found a bunch of them. They go away. They come back. I'm still in the room, by myself because God forbid anybody comfort you. And I had nobody to ever go on appointments with me, so I did everything by myself while my kids were at school. Well, while my son was at school, and they tell me that they found um, benign dead lymph nodes, swollen, benign, dead lymph nodes. Now, those 3 things are all true at the same time, and it's hard for me to wrap my brain around it. And I was like, "Okay, so do I have, like, what do I do? Do I have breast cancer? Is it precancer? Like, I mean, what do I do? No, 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 you're fine. But we want you to go back to your doctor and you know, here's your paperwork. But fine. Go back to my doctor. She can't figure it out. All right. She's feeling around my neck. She's like, yeah, well, your lymph nodes are a little swollen. She feels under my arms. They're a little swollen. And I'm like, okay, my legs are starting to swell. Oh, no, it's fine. It's because, you're stressed out. The body goes through all these different things. Okay, fine. So basically, she's telling me she doesn't know what the hell is wrong with me. So she's going to send me to all these doctors. This is during the Johnny Depp trial now. Now I'm watching this trial. I am completely immersed in this. YouTube is brand new to me, so I'm not a creator yet. And I'm just watching, you know, basically Emily D. Baker. And that introduced me to Runkle and to like all these different little lawyers who were little at the time. Now they're bigger, but they were just amazing characters that I never thought I'd, you know, existed. I mean, I just loved them all. And then along comes, Joe and, Good Logic and Nick Rekieta. And Joe gave me a lot of comfort. So I went to his streams a lot. Uh, but Nick inspired me. Nick came across very strong, very sure of himself, somebody I could believe in. And I believed what he was telling me. And I started, messaging him. Just I knew he wouldn't message back, but I would message him on Instagram and just tell him, like how everything was going and what I thought about his stream and the trial and blah blah blah. And eventually he started talking back, because I stopped messaging and he messaged me like, "Where'd you go?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't even know he was reading them, and he was just like, "Yeah, I just wasn't, like ready to, I guess, engage." And then he was, because he was like, "Where'd this bitch go?" Um, but that was that whole time, and I was so distracted by the Depp trial and everything else that I was learning about YouTube. It helped me to deal with going to all these doctors. Now, I went to a cardiologist, and let me tell you something. This When you go to these doctors, they don't tell you things in good ways. Their bedside manner is absolutely shit. And they all like to jump the shark. They jump to conclusions. Like I've had doctors who have diagnosed me without even looking at the test results. And I'm like, I just look at them and go, uh-huh. Okay. Like the first doctor I took to heart. The second doctor I didn't take so seriously. By the third doctor, I was like, what the fuck ever, man. Like just tell me what you're gonna tell me so I get the hell out of here. And that was it. But the cardiologist, I went there. He put me through all these tests. I had to wear a monitor for days and I had to write down everything I did, every heart palpitation. If I had any kind of dizziness, I had to go for a stress test. And he wanted me to go for a non stress test where they give you this medicine that makes your body think that you've been exercising for like an hour. So it hypes everything up. And then they take all your vitals and then they give you Coca-Cola and it undoes, the effects of the medicine. So it's just, and I'm not kidding. They literally give you just a can of Coca-Cola and go, here, drink this. You'll be fine in 2 minutes. And you drink the Coca-Cola and everything's gone. Like all the symptoms are gone, of what the medicine did. So I go through all these things. He tells me that my left ventricle is bigger than all the other chambers of my heart now. But he can't determine if I was born that way, if it became something recent, if it'll get worse or if it'll kill me, but I'll probably need surgery for it. Okay, he gives me a prescription for whatever, and I'd never go back to him. Next is the pulmonologist who looks at me and tells me I have COPD. Doesn't do one fucking test on me. Doesn't listen to my lungs, nothing. She's just, oh, you have slight emphysema and COPD. I said, I just struggled down your damn stairs and I'm a smoker. Like, you might want to get out a stethoscope and listen to my lungs first. And I'm asthmatic. No, 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 no. I'm putting you for a sleep study. So she sends me for a sleep study. Comes back, they tell me I stop breathing every couple minutes and that I need a special bed, and I need like special linens, and I need to, change my diet to this, and I need to cut this out, and I need these meds, and I need a CPAP machine. Yeah, I didn't do any of that shit. I never went back. Next is the oncologist, because the blood test came back with some anomalies that they couldn't figure out at my regular practitioner's office. And so I go to this oncologist because, hey, they think I have cancer. Okay, I go. She looks at the results. She goes, "Oh, it's high likelihood you have blood cancer." Mind you, I'm doing all this by myself. And it's just one after another after another. And I'm like, blood cancer. Okay. How do we determine that? So she does biopsies. I have needles getting stuck in places I don't like. I have monitoring. I have all these different people like looking at me, looking at my blood, coming back, taking another sample, go back, and you'll just wait here. They go, they look at, they come out. Well, we need another sample, and they just constant urinalysis. I mean, I didn't think I'd have to do like all this stuff. They're giving me a box to like put poop in, and it's just like they're literally testing everything, and I'm like, okay. Comes back, I do not have blood cancer, but I have a blood clot disorder that I never had before, that's usually seen in blood cancer patients after they've gone through chemotherapy. They said that the blood clot condition is fatal. It's going to be painful. I'll wind up losing limbs, blah, blah, blah. But all the tests say no cancer. So this lady she's spouting off all these horrible things that are going to happen to me, just like the other ones. And oh, okay. She gives me a script. I go home. I fill the script. I add it to my list of meds. I never fucking go back. Doctor sends me to a rheumatologist for all the pain and the swelling. She tells me that I have to get extreme physical therapy. She goes, you need a lot of physical therapy. She recommends 3 times a week physical therapy. And she offers me pain meds. Oh, thank you. I took the script for the physical therapy. I took the script for the pain meds. I threw them both out as I walked out the door, and I never went back. So now my legs, it's it's near summertime. My legs are starting to swell, and I got this little blister. I know I'm ignoring chat, but I want to get through this. I'll go back. I get this little blister in the middle of my shin, and it pops. And then it won't heal. And it keeps weeping and weeping and weeping. And now I love my legs. I had some like I've always been a workhorse. I could lift anything anywhere because my legs were where my strength were. I didn't have a lot of arm strength, but my legs, I could kick like a mule. Never had a problem. Now all of a sudden my legs are weak. I could barely move them. I can barely like shuffle forward. And now I have this weeping thing, and all of a sudden, within 2 weeks, my legs blow up. So now what do I do? My legs swell to the point where I can't even bend my knees. I go to the ER because I'm freaked out. They leave me on a gurney in a hallway. Don't even give me a room. Everybody's staring at me because I have these swollen legs jutting out in front of me because I can't bend my knees. And this tiny little doctor comes along, doesn't do any tests or anything, tells me I have lymphedema, offers me Oxycontin, and tells me that there's no cure for that. It's just going to get worse. I'll wind up losing my legs, and I'll lose all mobility. And the Oxycontin is just to keep me comfortable, as it progresses. No cure, no treatment. Just here, take these pain meds. Oh, you're already on antidepressants. That's good. You'll need those. Oh, you're already on anti-anxieties. That's good. You'll need those. Oh, anti-tremor medication. Yeah, that's fine. Everything was, here. But here's some opioids for you. I told him to go fuck himself. I was like, I don't fucking want that. What? You have to. I said, I have an addictive personality. I can't take opioids. What are you, nuts? And he was like, but you're in a lot of pain. Yeah, and I guess I'm going to have to deal with it because I can't take that. I can't take any of that. So I was like, and he was, well, this is my recommendation. And he was all pissed off that I was like, dude, fuck you. So I left the hospital. I'm trying to get into, like, they send this giant truck to pick me up because I called an Uber. And the guy was like, oh my God. I was like, I got this. I was like, I'll get in one way or another. And I did get in the truck and go home. But that was probably one of the last times I left my house voluntarily because it just got too difficult and it was embarrassing. Now, this was all during the Depp trial. And like I said, I'm distracting myself with YouTube to not have to deal with any of this crap. The last doctor I had to go to was the neurologist, and I had to wait for that appointment. So it went in the summer of 2022, just 2 years ago. He sends me for an MRI of my brain and my spine and my legs, full body, head to toe. I have to get x-rays as well because he wants to see all different images. He sends me for this litany of blood tests. And he tells me in the office, you have to do all these. You have to do them this week. I think you may have lupus or multiple sclerosis. So, of course, I do my research and freak myself out, but I go for all the tests. And the results of the blood test was that I have chronic Lyme disease, which is a surprise to me because I've never had Lyme disease that I know of. And I, again, have the clotting issues. Now I have crystals in my blood and my urine that weren't there before and can't be explained because they don't know why they're there, what caused them, or how to get rid of them. So they're just going to ignore it for now. We'll deal with that later. That's minor. Doesn't sound minor to me, but okay. The MRI, the doctor makes me go in. He won't tell me this one on the phone. He makes me go in. He sits me down and he said, listen, there's very marked degeneration in your brain and in your spine. The membranes were thinning in spots and the bacteria was eating away at the tissue because that's what Lyme does. Lyme buries itself in your soft tissues and you can't get it out and it takes over. So I had entered menopause. Well, guess what? Menopause was now over because my body decided to give me back my period. Great. Awesome. That's just lovely. My brain had spots where there were these just white dashes and it looked like lightning had frozen in my brain where things just weren't working anymore. That was upsetting. That because my intelligence is what I hold most dear. You know, my ability to think on my feet, my quick wit, my memory. And he's telling me that's going to go away. That's going to go away. And he tells me that the Lyme bacteria is, everywhere. It's literally everywhere, in every joint, in my reproductive system, in my spine, in my brain. It's systemic. And it has caused me to have advanced lymphedema throughout my body from head to toe, which means, and I don't know if you've ever seen your lymphatic system on a chart, it literally runs through your entire body. And I can expect more joint pain, more swelling. I can expect to lose lower mobility relatively quickly and eventually all motor function. He told me I would lose all my memory and that I should get my stuff in order. Because with how quickly it's progressing, I don't really have that great of a prognosis. Puts me on tremor meds, stronger tremor meds, puts me on more breathing meds, more pain meds, and he ups my psych meds. I follow his advice and never go back. What do I do instead? I jump into streaming. I become a creator because now I have limited time and I have stuff to say. I get into it and I overdo it. I meet some not so great people who capitalized on my need to feel useful and on my mental instability at the time. And by the end of that summer, I retire because I have to and go on disability. Everything these doctors have told me tells me I'm going to die. Now, I'm home by myself with my two kids, trying to take care of them, get one off to school that wound up, being futile. And I'm suffering from neglect because there's nobody to take care of me, and I can't expect my kids to do it. They did the best they could, but I'm being driven by, a creator to constantly go, 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 go. And I'm so fragile at that point. I was very easy to control. And I get sicker and sicker and sicker until eventually every day was me screaming in pain. And I had to go to the hospital because I had sepsis. I had a virulent staph infection throughout my entire body and Pseudomonas, both antibiotic resistant. My legs and my feet are burned by the lymph fluid that's escaping these wounds that I now have. They're pressure wounds from sitting and streaming for 36 hours on end. Um, my feet are raw, can't walk, and the lymph fluid has burned through several layers of the skin on my feet. So like they're they're just torn to shreds. And the hospital's not good at treating these things, but they try. I have gangrene that's growing. It wasn't bad enough that it took over, but they did tell me they were going to try to take my leg if I didn't go on like these really like very, very, very potent antibiotics that they had that were going to make me super, super sick. And I was like, you know what? I was ready to die. I was just like, whatever. And I had an experience in the hospital that made me fight. Made me tell the doctor, I'm not ready to go. So they need me here. They want me here. And I'm going to stay. So just throw everything at me. I don't care how sick it makes me. And I did. I fought. I fought. And it worked. I was able to, like get rid of the infection or whatever and go home. But I was super weak, super out of it. And they tripled my meds. So I couldn't even make a decision like to go to the bathroom without like there being drama about it. Like I was so out of it. And they were quite content to keep me there. They thought I was fine. It didn't matter if I touched base with the doctor. He didn't care. Just keep taking your meds, keep taking your meds, keep taking your meds. I felt crazy. Couldn't control my emotions, couldn't control the pain. And I went through this whole drama thing with somebody who, you know, robbed me of an entire community because they decided, in their very narcissistic asshole ways, that they were going to try to ruin me because they couldn't control me anymore. Because I'd started to wake up. And I had a new friend, who was speaking truth in one ear while they were speaking lies in the other, while those other people were speaking lies in the other. And they didn't like that they were losing that grip on me, so they had to destroy me. So they tried, and I just walked away like, fuck you. But I kept my friend. If you haven't figured out, that friend was winning. For some reason, he saw something there that was worth saving, and he put in the time, and he put in the effort, and we became very, very close. And he knew I felt crazy and I was in pain and I just didn't know what to do. I was depressed. I was suicidal. It was horrible. I couldn't eat right. And so he decided, okay, like you need something. And I said, I'm going to be a lot of work. If you take this on, you can't just drop me in the middle because it gets too difficult. And it's like, no, he thought about it. And he said, no, we got this. Like he signed up for it. None of y'all know what he signed up for, what I was like when I was going through that whole transition from being dependent on what they put me on and ready to die, just accepting that I was going to die, to where I am now. I mean, I put our boy through it. Let me tell you something. When they talk about high value men, it doesn't get higher value than him. It really doesn't. Um, anyway, he and I, we sat over months and we focused on, eating habits, on the fuel I put in my body, on getting me off the meds, on resting, on working through traumas. That's how this channel started, like in earnest. I needed to work through my mental traumas so that I had a reason to go on, so that I could find the strength. And he was there with me through the whole thing. He literally held my hand. He would listen to me just sob for hours. And then he'd hit me with some truths. And he doesn't give me an out where somebody else would feel bad and go, "Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, it's okay. We can talk about it." He's like, "No, we're doing this now." Like, we're doing it now. Okay, fine. So by the end of the summer of 2023, everything was different. I was off the meds. I was eating better, but I still was sick. And, he made sure he was always around. He was always there. We were always reevaluating my situation, making sure that I had supplements, making sure if I took this med away that nothing happened that was bad. I mean, we didn't just stop everything cold turkey. It was very methodical about it. And unfortunately, I wound up back in the hospital in October of 2023 because I was, he was like, "Okay, you're not good," because I kept losing consciousness. And I just kept thinking I was taking naps, but no, I was just losing consciousness. And it turns out that I had the infection again. And it was one wound. It was not bad, but the infection was really bad. And so I went through the whole antibiotic treatments and everything else with um, the Cipro and the vancomycin and like all that. And by the time I got home, um, I was off all the meds completely, including my psych meds, which my psychiatrist was not happy about. That was the last time she talked to me when I was in that hospital because she was so aggravated that I just stopped and I didn't need her meds. That I was doing better just doing my streams and talking and having winning and having you guys, that I didn't need to be medicated out of my freaking gourd. So yeah, so in the years since, in the 2 years since they told me I was going to die, here I am. And I walk a lot more. I eat healthier. I treat my own pain with different things. There's meditation, there's music, there's writing, there's distraction. The most medicine I'll take is like Imodium for my stomach because I have a nervous stomach. So when I get really upset the next day, I suffer. And Tylenol. Sometimes I leave, but that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I live on like supplements. I take the turmeric, I take St. John's wort, I take kelp, I take a multivitamin. Right now, I'm on a spike protein detox that has my mind so clear that literally within 2 days of starting it, I started streaming again because I had the wherewithal to go through with it. Whereas before, I just couldn't. I was getting more and more bogged down in my head. Um, do I have limited energy? Yeah, I do. So I spend that energy on the people that matter. I don't bother with fucktards anymore. Like if you're aggravating, I don't bother with you. If you give me grief, I don't bother with you. I don't stress over it either. I just walk away. I don't care. Because the people that don't mess with my head on purpose, the people who don't aggravate me, those are the ones I want to spend my time with. Whether I have another year, another 10 years, or another 50, those are the people that get my energy now. I've learned to set values for people. Um, I don't socialize much because it's very draining. I can't do the dog and pony show that I used to do. I can't be super funny Shelly all the time. I can't be super dirty all the time. Because that took effort, whether you guys know it or not. It took a lot of effort to make all those dick jokes, believe it or not, all the time, to be always bomb, 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 on. And yeah, I lost a lot of popularity on YouTube, and I could give a fuck. I could give a fuck. I take care of me. I take care of mine. I give all my love and generosity to the people that deserve it. And I don't feel the need to go out and pander to other people anymore to please anybody else. It's affecting my channel a little bit, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I never set out to be, super popular or whatever. I set out to heal myself, and I've been doing that. And in the process, I've helped a lot of other people heal themselves. I don't take credit for healing anybody. I take credit for showing them they're not by themselves, which is the point of this stream as well. Um, everybody's going through something. Everybody to different degrees. No matter how bad you think you have it, somebody else has it worse and they're pushing through. So don't you dare give up. And I have to tell myself that every day. There are people out there they can't walk across the house. They can't eat a regular meal. They can't stay up till 3 in the morning watching wrestling with with their bestie, sitting there just getting just loved up on just for who they are. They don't have those luxuries. They don't have those benefits. So how dare I, bitch about what I don't have? And it does. It gives me that kick in the ass that I need. And I hope that when I'm here, I give other people a kick in the ass that they need. Because you don't get to give up on you. It's not your decision. That's in God's hands. What you get to do is make the best of the time you have here. Now, I waver. Hell, ask when every 2 weeks I tell him, you should go branch out, go get other friends. Like, I try to push him away for him because he deserves so much better than this. But he won't go because, he's stubborn and he's winning. But I'll tell you this right now, like, for every 10 good days, I have one bad. That's not a bad ratio. It's really not. I know what happiness is now. I know what makes me happy. I know what's important to me. I'm truer to who I am. I'm more accepting of who I am. I have a lot less fear. I plan for the future. I allow myself to love without expectation. And I'm okay with that most of the time. Sometimes, it gets to be a bit much. But for the most part, I'm good with loving without reciprocation. Equal reciprocation, I should say. There's always reciprocation, but it doesn't have to be the same as what's coming from my heart, because not every heart is like mine. That's something I realized when I got sick. Not everybody thinks like me. Not everybody feels like me. And not everybody's going to act like me. But you know what? There are a hell of a lot of people out there that do, that are very similar. Those are my people. Those are people that look at me and notice something in me that they see in themselves that they like. Things that make them feel, okay, I'm not the only one that does this. I'm not the only one that feels to this extreme. I'm not the only one who goes through these ups and downs and who's scared and confused. I would rather live like this and be bold and be brave than to just withdraw and wither away in silence and never have touched another person's life, never have let them affect my life. I like how things are. Um, I was me. I knew who that girl was. And then I was dying, and that girl went away. And now I'm something else. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Some days I want to know, some days I don't want to know, some days I want to give up, some days I'm just in it 100,000%. But every day I fight, even when it seems like I've given up. As long as I take the next breath, I'm fighting. I fight to be human. I fight to be worthy. I fight to move. I fight to be normal. I fight to be a shadow of that girl that I was. Win or lose, I'm going to keep fighting. That's what God put me on this earth to do. Fight for others and now fight for me. I spent my whole life fighting for other people. Now I fight for me. And have a lot of people in my life who are willing to fight right next to me for me. When you're in a situation like mine or like the lead attorneys or anything that makes you doubt your worthiness or your reason for existing on this earth, you shut that voice up and you keep fighting. And you fight with all you've got because the alternative is unacceptable. The lead attorney has given me many hours of enjoyment through his streams. I really hope y'all reach out and give him as much encouragement and support as you can because he's one of the few people I know of that deserve it. And to see him so vulnerable, so lost, because you're not who you were. You spend your whole life building this persona, and in the blink of an eye, it's gone, and you don't know what to do. And I've been there. I'm still there, but I learn every day a little bit more who I am. Every day I get a little stronger. You know, I trip up. I mean, let's face it, we all do. I fuck up all the time. I make emotional decisions, make a lot less now than I used to, but it's hard. It's hard to go through life like that. But it's worth it because every day brings something. He still finds joy in things. He laughed through his entire stream. And at one point, my son came out. He was like, "What are you watching?" And I explained it. He said, "But why is he laughing?" He was like, "You do that too." I said, "I know." I said, "Because you can't take it so seriously. Because if you do, you'll never get out of it. You'll get stuck in it." And part of it, you're laughing because you're like, "How is this my life? How did I get here? What the hell happened? Like, this was not on my bingo card. Who did I piss off in a past life to deserve this?" It's not about deserving. Shit happens. There are evil forces in this world that go about their business just keeping it status quo, and they let the shit hit the fan, and sometimes the shit lands on you. Koofy shit landed on me, and now I got to deal with it. My message is for anybody who's struggling. The struggle is worth it. Keep fighting. Um, and for those who know people who are struggling, do me a favor and be considerate of them. You have no idea how easy it is to neglect somebody who won't reach out and say they need help. I'd be completely neglected if I didn't have Winnie. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I would have died a long time ago. He pushes me. He encourages me. Not so much for the streaming, but for life in general. He makes sure I stay connected to him because I disconnected from everybody else because I just didn't have the energy. And I really can't deal with drama. Like I said, I want that t-shirt or maybe a mug would be better. Like, you smell like drama, get the fuck away from me. Cuz I don't sign up for that anymore. I just don't see the point. Life is extremely short. I'm not going to waste it doing stupid shit. I'm not going to waste it arguing with stupid people. I'm not going to waste it pandering to somebody's ego. Like, you want to go do your thing, go do your thing. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, just, there's a purpose in my life. And I'm going to make every moment matter. And I do. I laugh. I laugh all the time. I I like being silly with my kids. You know, I'm having a rough time with my mother, but it's because she's my mother. But even that, I'm trying to, fix that relationship, knowing full well that that might never happen. It might never happen. But at least when she's gone, I won't turn around and say, I should have done more. I'm doing everything I can. I'm not pandering to these doctors. I'm not giving them the leeway they need to over medicate me and make me weaker and weaker and weaker. How is it all their treatments destroyed me? They destroyed who I was. They got me to the point where I was having so many brain issues that I couldn't talk. I would sit and type something out and I would be typing words that my brain was not telling me to type. I could say I sat down and I wanted to type out my cat's name is Boo. That's what I want to type out. What did I type? Eggs, chickens, lawyer. Like that's what would come out. Like, and I'd be like, stop, and I'd be telling my fingers, stop typing that shit. And it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. I had to get off all those meds because they were destroying me. And now I'm doing the spike protein detox, and then I'm gonna do the round of ivermectin and another round of doxycycline. Do I have a doctor telling me to do these things? No. Is this in any way, shape, or form medical advice? No. Never do what I do. Okay? But what I do works for me because I've done the research. I've done like looking at everybody's like histories and everything. I've done so much research on this stuff, you have no idea. I went to the hospital for wound care. I no longer have to do that unless I have an infection that only their antibiotics can cure because I have become a wound care specialist. I have learned about dry wounds, wet wounds, seeping wounds, infected wounds, every kind of wound you could think of in every body part. I know how to deal with because I couldn't trust them because they made me worse. The person who's going to look out for you the most is you, as long as you prioritize yourself. Lead managed to put himself first, finally, instead of just thinking he was He-Man and I've never been sick in my life, so obviously I'm fine. It'll pass. But then he was introduced to the medical world where everyone is callous and you're just a number. All you are is their paycheck. They don't care anymore. It's rare to find doctors who care. I know some who have, but he didn't. I didn't. But he still got through it. And I'm quite proud of him for going through and not quitting and continuing on this journey because, you know, he's another high value man. He's a good individual, and we need people like him on this planet. And I'm really glad that he got the help that he needed. I'm glad he had somebody to take care of him. I didn't. But I had winning. And then through my streaming, I wound up with you guys. And you are the caretakers of my spirit. You keep me going. I can't emphasize how much that means to me. I can't express it. There's no words for it. So that's my story for everybody out there who I mean I'm in pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never goes away. But I've learned to manage the pain so well that most days it doesn't even register. It's draining, which is why I sleep so much, but I function and I laugh and I sing and I joke around and I'm back to creating, and that's all that really matters to me. That I'm an example for my kids especially to keep pushing. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how steep the climb, you just got to take it one step at a time. Oh, Lord. And this is why winning affects my brain. Because when you're going through stuff like this, let's see, where is it?
Baby steps?
It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
It works.
First of all, I don't pay property tax.
And what does winning tell me?
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
So you know what?
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
There you go. That was the trifecta. Ellie Fuck. I just noticed Ellie Fuck. All right, so I haven't paid attention to chat because I had to get that all out, because whether you all know it or not, that was super difficult for me. So now I get to, Jesus Christ, y'all, we're talking a lot. Oh, Thomas is here. Hi, Thomas. All right, I'm going all the way back. Sons of bitches. So that was the first hour, was my very serious part of this. But now we get the chit chat. All right, so I'm fucking an hour behind. All right, whatever. I'll catch up. And don't start putting that one letter each on the thing, because you do that just to mess with me. All right. Lady Awesome said, he's the third person in my world in the past 5 months to be diagnosed with cancer in the bone. Yep. One of my oldest, dearest friends I still have contact with was diagnosed about 3 months ago. It's amazing how many people are getting diagnosed with cancer right now. Bone cancer, blood cancer, bizarre cancers that we never really heard a lot about before. And there really is a huge upswing in it. And you got to wonder what caused that. Is it the food? Is it the water? Is it the environment? Is it the forced medications? What's doing it? Because something has fundamentally changed to create this. And I know Wynn's going to yell at me, oh, jump the shark. Don't conspiracy theory. But it's not a conspiracy theory when it's literally happening to me. So I do have a reason for believing in this. But yeah, I do think that there's something going on, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible, because now we're coming up with all these things that, isn't it just a funny coincidence? All these maladies have treatments but no cures. It's almost like they're disease for profit. It's weird, isn't it? It's either culling the herd or profiting off of it. So I'm sorry to hear that, though, lady. I know that it's a lot to go through. It is. Because you love people and you just don't want to lose them. And at some point, you resign yourself to the fact, okay, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. Which is another reason why I always try to push winning away. But, you know, he's the optimistic one. I'm the cynical one. It used to be, I think, the other way around. But whatever. Heidi said 20 years ago, sister went into remission from stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Both B and T cell time rare. 4 years ago, my cousin had stage 2 of the same. My bonus dad in remission, 8 months, tongue gland cancer. Cancer sucked. Yeah, but you see, like, all these, it's not just like, we always heard about, like, all right, there was like uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer, and which was also on the rise, colon cancer and breast cancer. Those were the main ones. You very rarely heard about something else. Now all these different things are coming out. It's bizarre. And it's not a little, like, it fucks with you. Like, because you're just like, what is going on? Why is all this new shit? And then you think, oh, well, maybe they're just reclassifying things. No, these are brand new goddamn things. Heidi, I won't vax because heart murmur and autoimmune issues and religious views read the tissue they used in research. I have natural immunity to COVID. Had it asymptomatic. Long haulers is a real issue. Yeah. And it is a real issue. That's the thing. I never had COOF. So there was no reason for me to get vaccinated. I had been among kids and everything else, still didn't get it, but they insisted for Katie's sake, if you're not going to get Katie vaccinated, you have to be vaccinated so that you're protected and you won't bring it home to her or you're going to kill her. And there's nothing I won't do for my kids. So yeah, I went and I signed up for that because I had no choice. Between stupidity, naivete, guilt, fear, and my job, everything was stacked against me, and I gave in. And I suffered the consequences. But there shouldn't have been consequences. I should have been able to trust what the science was supposedly saying. Didn't know that there were so many voices out there screaming, being muffled and silenced, telling the truth while the lies were all getting through. Thomas said, crap. Mecha Random 42 apparently has some form of cancer, and a response from the internet is grifter stop line. Yeah, I know. It's because the internet sucks at times. Like, there's wonderful aspects to it, and then there's the troll aspect to it where you're just like, you know what? Not everybody's grifting. I'm too little to grift. Like, this is me just caring about a fellow creator. Like, granted, we're not on the same level. He's way up there. But his journey affected me. And I do care about him. I legitimately sat here and cried for him and prayed for him. And I will continue to pray for him because he's a good dude. It's few and far between on here finding a good dude up there with, without the fucking egotistic, bullshit going on. Somebody who's just trying to get through, same as you. And he's just having a better time at it. But he hit a snag, and that's what we should be there for. We should be there for each other. Supporting each other, lifting each other up, offering strength and love and, consideration and compassion. Having empathy for people. That's why I'm doing this. It's why I felt the need to do it. Yes, it's Mental Health Month. Part of your mental health is giving into your fears without giving into your fears. Like, lean into them, embrace them, face them, fight them. Fuck them. Fuck fear. Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to die. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm afraid that I'm not afraid I'm gonna die. I'm afraid I'm not gonna get to live. I don't wanna just exist until the day my heart stops. I wanna live. Am I gonna be that, like that sassy, girl that I was with the awesome walk and you know, the ass you'd follow anywhere? Probably not. No. I feel like this has destroyed my poor little body. I don't feel that worthy physically, but inside, I'm better than I ever was. I know how to love in a way I never knew before. And it means the world to me. It may not mean anything to anybody else, but my conscience is clear. My soul is lighter and brighter. And my heart is as healed as it's probably ever been in my life. It's more intact and more vibrant. I may have lost strength in some of my muscles, but my heart is strong. And I will live and love with everything I've got. I couldn't ask for a bigger blessing right now. And I wish you all had that blessing of loving completely, because if hurt comes, so what? I'm going to enjoy what I'm feeling. I made it through the whole thing, man, till this part. See, the tenderness. That's the part that kicks my ass. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better at being softer, of showing my heart, not being the tough girl all the time. Because that was fake. That was my fake it till you make it. Because I am not as tough as I pretend to be. It's okay for me to be vulnerable now. That's what this gave me. And like I said, I believe everything happens for a reason. I think God stopped me in my tracks because I was just not going down a good path. I wasn't being genuine. I wasn't being myself. I was being what everybody wanted me to be. And I put importance on the wrong things. I needed to reprioritize. I needed to reevaluate. And the only way to do that was to stop me. And I wasn't going to stop my daily routine for anything. So he said, okay, I'll stop you. It took me a while to see that. And my relationship with God is a lot better too. Because I've always needed him in my life, but I never wanted his presence all the time. And now I do. Because that's what gets me through every single dark moment. You got to let the light in, or you'll just stay in the dark. It's not going to force its way in. You have to ask it. You have to open that door and allow it in. And I needed to be sick to do that. I needed my winning to do that. Because I wouldn't have gotten there any other way. I would have just descended into a pit of darkness and died there. So yeah, this stream is for anybody who's playing with that darkness. There's light out there. You just got to want it. You have to want to let that light in. And you have to know that, yeah, it could hurt, but it passes. You've heard me say it before. When you find yourself going through hell, keep going. Don't languish there. Keep going, because eventually there's an end to it. This too shall pass. Heidi said, I have dense tissue. They thought it was masses as well. TG, it was. I have to be checked yearly. Yeah, I don't even bother going back to the doctor at this point. Well, right now I have no health insurance, but I'm hoping doctors here will be different than they were in Jersey and in New York because they sucked. I will say though, Thomas said I had a mole that grew to the size of a pencil eraser in like a month and a half to 2 months. Oh, geez. That after drinking chaga tea to the extreme, slight bleeding gums and such, it has an extreme blood thinning effect. And in about 3.5 weeks, there was nothing left of the mole. It not only shrunk but vanished. Even looking using a UV lamp for traces, I saw nothing. Plus a ton of skin tags I had at the time had all dried up and broke off and fell off, leaving no bumps where they started from too. Damn. Was it the chaga? No proof, but I didn't change much else in my life. There's a compound in chaga that is classified by the medical community as an anti-carcinogen. Not sure if that means it's anti-cancer or anti-cancer causing compound, like it has somehow negatively affects, say, nicotine or cigarette smoke particles. I've also administered it to several cats, and now 2 dogs that had lumps they should not have had, and in a couple weeks, all those shrunk up and vanished. You're gonna have to send me a link to that in Discord or something, because what the hell? Because at this point, I try anything. Like I literally like research, and then I'm like, you know what? Screw it, I'll try it. I don't care if it costs $10 or $100. I will try it because what do I have left except working on my health? But thank you for sharing that, Thomas. Seriously, send me some info on that. If you're on Twitter, I'm on X. I'm on Twitter. I can't say I'm on X because that's like, no. On the YouTubes, that's not a good thing to say. Lady Awesome, that's amazing. Thomas Anderson, thank you for sharing. I've been considering adding tea to my diet and haven't decided what tea I should start. That settles it. I'll start looking for some Chenga tea. Is it chaga or Chenga? Somebody send me some info on it, por favor. Heidi said there's a sign symptom of adverse effect from the CVAX of getting it. My pulmonologist contributes some of my lung nodes on me having it naturally. I'm trying to read through this. They're all over the place. Gutter Pup said never go to a general doctor, find a naturopath doctor. Yeah, in Jersey, that wasn't very easy. They're kind of thin on the ground, not covered by insurance, and expensive as fuck. Thomas said chaga is a rough, dark lump that grows on birch, the trees with super white bark and tasty sap. Yeah, I used to drink birch beer. I used to love it. And the colder the environment it comes from, the stronger it is. I just grind it up and pour it in. Oh. I pour it into a flask that I put on my stirring mantle set for 55 degrees Celsius. Okay. Till I feel like pouring the water through a coffee filter. It tastes like what coffee brewing smells like to me. Like, take the smell of coffee brewing and turn it into a taste. I mean, wouldn't that taste like coffee, Thomas? I'm just, I'm just saying. Um, that struck me as funny. I'm sorry. I'm not being like, it's just the smell of coffee. That's what coffee tastes like. To me, anyway. That if it's fresh, obviously being full of volatile materials that warm weather break down, it tastes less and less like that the older the champ gets before being brewed. I think the chaga I keep drinking some of, though, maybe why the multiple times having COVID has not had any effect that I saw everyone go through the brain fog and feeling sick or weak. The long-term effect is due to that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd love to look into it, so I'm definitely going to look into it. Heidi, integrative functional medical practitioners are better informed. I feel like none of them are informed. Ticks and chiggers can transmit Lyme. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They said that they thought I got bit by a Lyme tick and whatever. But I never had the rash. I never got sick. Nothing. Nothing. And I literally had just spent the last 2 years in my house, in an apartment in the city, surrounded by concrete. There were no ticks. There was no nothing. So I was like, "Where the hell?" And he said, "No." And then I looked up a lot of uh, the side effects of the jib jab, and one of them is it can reanimate um, dormant bacteria and disease in the body. Because even when you are cured of something, there's still a blueprint stored in your body. And apparently, the mRNA is very good at reviving those. It's they bring them right back to life, stronger than ever before. So yeah, I probably had Lyme disease at some point that naturally passed, because it does naturally pass if you don't have like a really virulent, strong strain in you. And then when I got the jab, it found it and turned it into Frankenstein. Like it turned it into the monster. It's alive. So I never knew what hit me. But there's 5 diseases that act the same. Lyme disease, syphilis, believe it or not, multiple sclerosis, MS, lupus, and there's another one that I can never freaking remember. I can't remember the name of it, but there's 5 things that are identical. The only way to tell them apart is through blood tests and stuff like that. So that's how we found out I had Lyme disease, because I really thought I had lupus or MS, because it hit so quickly and it was systemic, literally from head to toe. Like my vision is different. It's changed so much. It's changed the texture of my hair. It's changed like my coloring. It's changed all my joints. Like you have no idea. Like I've fought my whole life. I like I said, I was strong. I went to kickboxing. My sensei was a UFC champion. And he was like, hit me, hit me. I was like, Louie, I don't want to hit you. Hit me, hit me, hit me. Come on, you're a girl. Hit me, hit me. He wanted me to hit him in the chest as hard as I could. I was like, you really don't want me to do that. And he was like, yeah, I really do. So I hit him and he was like, what the hell was that? And he was like, I said hard. What are you, a pussy? And I just fucking hit him once. And he was like, oh, he was like, God damn, you hit like a man. I was like, well, yeah, because I punch through things. I don't punch surface level. Like that's not how I was taught. But I've always been strong, physically strong. I mean, I'd go to work and you'd have teachers just jump on my back and I'd just carry them down the hallway like it was nothing. My friend Vic, he's 6 foot fucking 5. He climbed up onto a shelf one day. I was in the middle of doing something. He decided to just jump on my shoulders. And all right, he jumped on my shoulder. I just walked around with him on my shoulders. Because I was physically strong. I had amazing balance, amazing flexibility. I had double jointed hips. Like I was always into gymnastics, and I did the cheering thing and I did the dancing thing. I did all of it. I was very physically active. I was a thick girl, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bounce to my ounce, but I was always well put together and strong and fit. And it was just I could walk as far as anybody else could walk. I could run, I could jump, I could do fucking cartwheels. Now I have to mentally prepare myself to get out of a chair. Since we moved, yeah, I'm moving around a lot more. Y'all would be very proud of me. I started going outside this week. And my mother was like, I don't understand why you didn't go outside. Because I'm afraid of people. I'm afraid of being seen. because I'm not who I was. That's the hardest part for me. That when I look in the mirror, I'm still me. I'm still, I'm still pretty. I'm still me. But yet she's a complete stranger to who I was. And I mourn her. I do. Because I'll never get her back. She, like my youth, is gone. Granted, I still don't look my age, but I'm vain enough to be like, oh no, I'm still pretty. But I'm not what I want to be anymore. I was always proud of my looks. It's another thing God kicked me in the ass for. But I always knew I was cute. But, now it's like, you mean I have to have a personality and a heart to, back that up? Fuck. Nobody told me that. I didn't sign up for that. All right, so I know it breaks down excessive cell lining components that could cause clots to form as well as allow cancer cells to hide from our antibodies. Lyme is caused by the bacteria in them. Yeah. I'm having a brain moment right now, but it's like the Borrelis bacteria. There's other names for it, but the main one is the Borrelis, and it forms into. Sorry, my nose is all stuffed because I was crying. Into these spirochetes, which instead of it being a linear bacteria, like just one of those little like rectangular or oval bacteria that you see under a microscope, the spirochetes are kind of like corkscrews, and they go deep into your deep soft tissue, right through into your bones, right into your bone marrow, into your bloodstream, and they're everywhere. But they tend to congregate in the really, really deep, softest tissues, your reproductive organs, your heart, your brain, the muscles surrounding the cartilage and everything in your joints. Like I joke with you guys, go, oh, my knees are so swollen. My kneecaps aren't even in the right place anymore. Most people are like, oh my God, doesn't that hurt? Not anymore. Like, I'm so used to it. It's like, they're like, get your knees fixed. I can't get my knees fixed. Not yet, because all of that is so swollen. It's just going to fuck them up again. What would be the point? I walk around with my kneecaps off to the sides. Sometimes I can push them back into place. That's not supposed to be a thing you do physically, but I do it every day. And it's just like, all right. That's why my mother's like, oh, why won't you sit out here? Because I need to put my legs up. I have to have my legs up. If I have my legs down, I'm not going to be able to walk later. Like, it's just not going to happen. Do you know how excited I was that after living here for a month and putting my feet up in a real bed instead of a fucking recliner for a month, that I could bend my legs to the point where I cut my own toenails? I was thrilled. I painted my toenails. They're all pretty now. But I couldn't do that before because I couldn't bend my legs. Literally just walked around like friggin' scarecrow. It was nothing bent. And I still have a hard time holding a pen and whatever. But I mean, I wrote out my whole show today. It was great. And I'm not on any of those tremor meds. I've cut out, I'd say 98% of the sugar from my diet. I'm mostly protein and like rice because I need rice. I just can't live without rice. Macaroni and a lot of meat proteins. Eggs. Can't wait for these chicks to grow up so I could just eat like just tons of eggs. But, fresher eggs. I'm doing what I have to. And it's hard. It's hard changing everything. And it's slow going. But my mind is a lot clearer than it was a month ago. My body is stronger than it was a month ago. I'm more adventurous than I was a month ago. So things are going to get better. They just are. Thomas said, I take so much zinc. I've not had any issues with carrying ticks, deers for days without realizing and not being able to take them off, get rid of the head. It's just, be very careful with zinc, please, because I got zinc poisoning about 7 years ago because I don't have a gallbladder. I had to have gallbladder surgery. So my body can't handle massive amounts of zinc or zinc over time. And it does what's called a bile dump. It makes you really, really, really sick. And then you throw up all this bile and it's like neon green. It's not fun. It's not fun. So just be careful, honey, with the zinc, please. Again, this is not a channel that offers any kind of medical advice. I'm literally just telling you what I've been through. But yeah, zinc interferes with so many microorganisms that don't have a native support system. Like our antibodies thrive as a result, while virus cells are short-circuited and can't infect due to the excess zinc. Just be very careful. Getting excessive zinc causes most viruses that have already infected a cell to fail, to cause the cell to make more viruses. In most cases, I saw a variant in the charts for COVID that I was guessing is immune, and it will be phosphorus excess that interferes with it. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with it. Yeah, no, see, I had to deal with it. Heidi said Dr. Living Good and Dr. Means have several research studies that have found natural ways of reversing, not oils, Lyme, lymphatic, and autoimmune with minimal regular meds. Please look into it. I absolutely will. I absolutely will. Jessica. Which Jessica is this? Who Jessica? Is it Jessica? Hello, Jessica, whoever you are. I can't see the icon. Your avatar is way too small for me to see on this laptop. And I've been crying, so my eyes are all dry and everything's blurry. But welcome. Winning is good people. Winning is the best people. That's my people. That's my winning. That's why I say it like that. And my winning. Thomas Anderson. Damn it, those sort that was trying to separate you from the others just baffle and disgust me. Well, got his problem. I'm sorry I missed half this chat at Thomas. Where do you get your chaga at? Hell yeah. Got his pub. Winning is winning. Winning's always winning. That's the thing. That's why I'm always in his chats and everything else. I would never not give him support because that's all he ever gives me. I couldn't ask for somebody to be more supportive of me living, of getting me day to day. I mean, he's one of the first. Well, he's the first person I think of when I wake up in the morning, and he's the last person I talk to before I go to bed at night. So he is my day and my night. So I'm very thankful for him. More so than I think he'll ever realize. Thomas said, so far, eBay mostly. Oh, I just read up on the people and pay attention to discussion on I can't talk. Discussion on harvesting and ask questions. Very cool. All right. Basically, try not to buy from anyone either having harvested in warmer times, warmer climates, and that do not cut down trees to get it. All right. Sweet. Heidi said, I used to harvest changa from the birch when I lived in Alaska. Not much birch here to do harvesting, though. Oh, Alaska would probably be a really good. They must have that up in Canada. I don't know. I gotta ask Suzanne if she knows anybody. You know who? Oh, you know who would probably know? Runkle. Because Runkle's into all that kind of stuff. He would probably, I'm going to shoot him a message. And if he doesn't answer me, which he usually does, I'll see if I get Joda to contact him for me. Oh, wow. Look, a super chat. I didn't even see that. Cheers to being a beautiful human being, regardless of what life throws at you. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. Wait, I gotta find something. Wait. What am I gonna do? Well, you know what I do.
All I do is win, no matter what.
But
That makes me the devil.
but for your super chat, I don't have the boobies, but I do have some very sassy dancing. So thank you again for that $10 super chat. Much appreciated. Um, in case you guys didn't notice, I turned off memberships because I didn't feel it was right. If I start streaming regularly again, which I'm hoping to do, then I'll turn them back on. But as long as I wasn't putting out, you guys didn't have to pay. So that's fair is fair. Thomas says it's not too bad. I wish the few people I know in Canada could ship to the US without all the issues we see in customs, such as, oh, honey, trust me, there are ways. Don't you worry about that. I'll figure that out. Wolfram saying thank you. Thank you, Wolfram. You're so sweet. Thank you for thanking Jess. Such a good mod. I want to put together a cold climate greenhouse that lets light in but siphons out the heat to a degree that frost and ice remain formed on things like that and pump that heat over. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Inya! Hi, Inya. I know I saw you and it didn't register before. I'm so stupid. Oh, hi, baby. How are you? She just caught up to the live. I'm glad. I'm glad. Even though you're caught up to live at 12:52 and I'm still almost an hour behind. Thomas, a regular greenhouse for winter growing of stuff like tomatoes. Yeah, my mother's husband's putting a greenhouse out in the backyard in the next like month because he wants to have it there for the winter. He's debating what kind of roof he wants. It's like, okay, whatever. Lady, I've been looking into the health benefits of condensing my eating into it. You mean condensing your eating into a window? The body benefits from fasting. Fasting used to be part of religious practice. I've actually been doing that. I've been, without even realizing it, I've been doing the intermittent fasting. So, like, I don't eat after, I usually don't eat after like 7, 8 o'clock at night. But the latest I'll eat is like midnight. I'll grab something. But then I won't eat again until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. And it's not that I'm starving myself or whatever. It's just I'm up, I'm doing stuff, and I'm like, do I have the energy to cook? I really don't. Fuck it, I'll wait. And I wait a while. But yeah, I'm down to like only like 500 to 1,000 calories a day on a good day. Uh, a couple days over the last weeks, I've only had like 300 calories a day because of my nerves and depression. So I'm trying to like eat better, but I'm also trying to like regulate the times and, like what I take in. Like I said, I gave up sugar and all that kind of stuff. And you said, good to hear you streaming. Yes. Know so many people struggling with health and pain. Yeah, everybody's going through something. Something. Thomas said, some people are going through things and they're just so numb and never experienced anything else. So they're not even aware of how strained they are too. It's true. It absolutely is. Lady said, upon my research, an 8-hour eating window has great clinical results and sounds doable. I mean, yeah, especially if you could sleep through most of it. That's awesome. I mean, that's the natural part of it. That's why they called it breakfast, because you're breaking your fast. You're supposed to stop eating at a certain time and then go to fuck the bed. You know? And this is when people used to go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night because they had to be up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to adopt that schedule. Just FYI. I like sleeping at night. The eating window sounds better to my ears than fasting. Yeah, no, it absolutely does. I totally get it. I totally get it. Because when you say fasting, you're thinking you're depriving yourself of something, which naturally makes your brain go, "Oh, but we need that." And then you crave it and you drive yourself crazy. Then you overdo it and then you feel guilt and you kick yourself in the ass for it. So it's like, yeah, eating window is better. It is. It's got a more positive connotation. And you said, haven't been chatting much because my hands and arms, I got real stressed and I'm like a ball of inflammation. I'm managing it. Yep. Stress will cause flare ups. That's why my mother doesn't understand. We get into a fight on a Wednesday and I am sick Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I am exhausted and can't move Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I'm like, you had a 5-minute argument to get shit off your chest. It took me a week to recover from that. She doesn't get that. She has no understanding that mental, emotional stress gets taken out on the body. If your mind is sick, if your mind is stressed, your body is what's going to feel it. Sent you a DM on Discord. But thank you, honey. I appreciate that very much. Heidi said that 1 out of 10, 328.5 good days out of a year. That's a blessing. Yep. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Jessica said, I've got to get ready for work. I'll catch up with you later. Have fun at work, honey. Now that I know who you are. Everybody keeps changing their names on here. It's driving me crazy. Have a good day at work. Lady Awesome said, I'm making changes. They're small changes, but the important thing is I started and I'm not done. I'm reevaluating things in my life. And that's what we have to all do constantly. Because life isn't stagnant. And yet we get into these routines as though they are. And we do ourselves a real injustice. Lead thought his entire life he was strong, invulnerable, like, oh, this will pass. Oh, I got a pain, it'll pass. It passes, he forgets about it. He thought, no, nothing can touch me. And then he goes and he's victim to this medical society that only profits on what they can get you to do. Like what tests they can get you to take, what meds they can get you to take. He held up his bag of meds and I was like, damn, I remember those days. Like I remember having 3 7-day sets of these plastic containers. They say Sunday through Saturday, and they're pill containers. And I had 3. I had one for the morning, one for the afternoon, and one for nighttime. And I was taking in one sitting 9 to 12 pills 3 times a day. I was on 900 milligrams of gabapentin, which made me crazy. I was on 3 times the dose that I was on of the Effexor, which made me suicidal. I was on the Indoril. I was on so many friggin' medications that I don't remember half the names. I don't even take my thyroid medication anymore. And guess what? My thyroid, absolutely fine. It's not swollen. It swelled up a little bit for like 2 months. And like a little bit of my hair fell out. My nails were a little weak for like 2 months. And then I was fine. The hair went right back to how it was. My nails went right back to how they used to be. And the swelling in my neck went all the way down. And I was like, they've had me on these fucking Levo for 16 years. Why? It didn't help anything. It wasn't like, making me feel better. It was just, I just had to take them every day. Every day. No matter what the blood test said, you got to stay on them. Why? So I just stopped taking them. And yeah, I feel you with that one, Shelly. I don't know what you're talking about, but I know you feel me with a lot of things because this community that I have, my crowd, my peeps, you're my peeps because you get it. A lot of you go through the same thing I go through. So, in different ways, but we all live like these weird parallel lives. And that's oddly comforting, and yet I wish you didn't have to. I would take that on myself. Like Winning has very bad back pain. He does not share that with people. And he's probably going to yell at me for saying it. Well, he won't yell at me, but he'll be a little put out with me for saying it. But he gets very bad back pain. And it's been getting worse. And regardless of all the pain that I feel every day, if I could take that from him, I wouldn't think twice. I really wouldn't. I would not think twice about taking that away from him and just taking it on myself, because what's a little bit more pain? With the pain load that I carry on a day-to-day basis, his pain isn't even going to make a dent. So I would take that in a heartbeat. And I pray for him. I do. I ask God to just please let him feel better today. Let today be a good day for him. I expect him to have back pain because I'm a burden, but that's those two things do go together. Lady Awesome, sometimes I laugh instead of crying. It's a defense mechanism. Absolutely. I have this thing where, like, at the worst of times, I laugh. Or I'll make an inappropriate joke, or I'll get goofy because that's my coping mechanism. That's how I deal with things. Because I don't want to sit there and fall apart. So I'm just going to have to make light of it. I know how dire it is, but like, hey, let's just. And his laughter was his reaction to the absurdity of what he has discovered goes on in the world that he didn't know about. Because this is a man who prided himself on being learned, being worldly. I be knowing, like that's how he is. Like he thought he had the skinny on everything. And he found out real quick, oh shit, there's a whole lot out here I don't understand. I've never experienced. And these people are shot. They are shot out. What is wrong with these people? Why are they treating me like I'm not even human? He wasn't used to that level of disregard and disrespect. And I think that was very eye-opening for him and very incongruous. Like he could not believe that laugh was the I can't believe y'all motherfuckers are treating me like this. What the hell is going on? Where was this world my whole life? Because he didn't experience that. So yeah, that can be quite jarring. But I get the laugh. I get it. And you said, wasn't it Lennon that said, it will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. I mean, true. You're not going to experience the kind of pain you experience here anywhere else. I mean, unless you go to the fiery place, which I don't think any of you are hell worthy. Lady Austin, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of Lennon. And you said, if I disappear, it's my work meeting. No clue when it will happen, but it's coming. It's like snow and orgasms. You have no clue when it'll happen, but it's coming eventually. Inumers, last, I'm not a major fan of their music, but I think I saw it posted on someone's community tab recently. Memento! Hello, sweetie. I hope you're feeling well today. I hope you have some nice hot tea and that you're able to take some non-labored breaths. And I hope you're rested up, honey. I hope you got a good rest. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Heidi said, that's the problem with big pharma CDC-funded training of practitioners. I'm looking forward to Dr. Means advising Trump. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good living and Dr. Means. Dr. Means is the one that I saw in there was the food roundtable, the nutritional roundtable, right? With I think it was Jim Jordan and Robert Kennedy Jr. I think they did that whole thing the other day. and I'm pretty sure they were there. Dr. Means was there. I was very impressed. I was. FYI, the Red Cross put out some first aid apps you can download on your phone for free, an app for first aid, an app for first aid for pets. Holy crap, did they really? That's awesome, Wolfram. I gotta look for that. God, I'm making tons of notes today. Elephant. I love that. Holy crap, I missed notification. That's all right, because I totally redid this stream. I had posted it yesterday. I was going to do a mental health stream about whatever happened to Playing Crazy. But then I went to bed and I watched the lead attorney's cancer story stream. And when I woke up, I had to do this. I had to, because I couldn't get him out of my brain. I can't say I couldn't get him out of my head, because that's solely for winning, but can't get you out of my head. I'm probably getting timelines wrong, because it was classic rock back when I was a kid, but it always seemed like this. I always liked the Stones more than the Beatles, and Rod Stewart over Phil Collins. Just not a Phil Collins fan. I wasn't a great Phil Collins fan, but I did like Genesis. I did like those songs, like Invisible Touch, and like all those were great. I tend to like groups more than individuals. Yeah, Ellie Font's here now. And I'm how far behind? Look at that, 45 minutes behind. Woohoo. That's why I advise people to look into functional integrative practices. Nice, Heidi. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of options when I lived in Hoboken. Hopefully here it'll be different. So I'm working on getting my medical insurance straightened out. Ellie said, crap, I missed everything. That's all right. You go back. You always listen. You like to listen to me at 2x speed anyway, so I sound like a chipmunk. I know why you do it. You show up late so you have an excuse to play me really fast, and then you can't as I laugh. I know. I'm wise to you, woman. That's why I love you. And yeah, I was like 20 minutes behind, and I 1.75 it. Yeah, my son got very aggravated with me yesterday because he was trying to play a video for me, and I was like, "Can you speed it up?" He was like, "It's on regular speed." I was like, "Yeah, see, I don't listen to things at that speed anymore." I said, when it completely spoiled me. I was like, "It's either 1.5 or better." And he was like, "How can you even listen to that?" I was like, "Trust me, once you do it 2 or 3 times, normal speed is so slow." You're just like, oh my God, I don't have time like this. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Elifant, in honor of a new year around the corner, I unblocked almost everyone who was on your block list. Let's go. That's awesome. Aw, let's fight. No. I'm glad you did that. You're so funny. And you said, took me forever to figure out where to unblock somebody. I had to go through Google, through my Google account manager, because it wouldn't let me any other way. And there's still some people I can't unblock now. I'm like, well, I can't unblock you. That means God meant for me to not have to interact with you. Lady, because there's no money in the cure. Exactly. There is no money in curing. Listen to Tucker Carlson interview with the Means. Oh, he did one with me? I'm going to have to check that out. Winning has access to the Tucker Carlson network thing, so I'll see what he can dredge up for me besides what I can dredge up. But thank you for that. Elifa, my stepdad is currently dying from a rare spinal cancer. My mom has a brain tumor. I know, honey. I'm sorry. And I do. They're on my prayer list. Part of me wants to be like, I want to have like an anti-prayer list almost, because that would be so much shorter. I literally sit here sometimes and I'm like, all right, God, I know I'm forgetting people, but I know you know that I want to pray for them. So if you could just like do me the favor, just make addendums to the list, because I can't remember every single person. Just know that I want them to be better. I want them to be happy. I think God gets it. It's okay. Gutter said, I'm making you a shirt on my merch shell. You smell like drama. Go the fuck away. I would totally buy that shirt. I would totally buy that shirt. Um, long haulers can also affect those who never had COVID but got the vaccine. I mean, but that's the thing. I had the I had the booster, never got COVID, got sick, still didn't get COVID, went to all these hospitals. I was in the hospital for a month total with all that time put together. Been to so many doctors. Again, no coof. My mother comes over for fucking Christmas Eve and gives the whole house coof. What the hell? Like, and it kicked my ass for 3 weeks. I could barely hold up my head. That at night wouldn't be like, "Yeah, all right," but it's like, "Go ahead, go to sleep." You go to sleep. Let me know when you wake up though, because he was like worried that I wasn't gonna wake up. But it was bad. Like I couldn't keep my eyes open. I couldn't lift my head. I couldn't taste anything, smell anything. It was terrible. And then it was just all right. Everyone's like, "Oh, how bad was it?" I've had flus that were worse. Pneumonia kicked my ass harder than the COVID did. It's just the COVID lasted longer. Like it just seemed to just never end. It was just always lingering, lingering, lingering. But yeah, it didn't have any lasting effects on me. So it's like the only thing that had the lasting effect on me was the jab that was supposed to keep me from getting the fucking coof to begin with. Ellie said, also both my sisters, three of my uncles, one of my aunts, all in the last few years have had cancer, still have cancer. That's what I'm saying. It seems like there's an uptick in not just the cases, but the severity and the types of cases. Like the rare cases are becoming not so rare. It's frightening. There's got to be something pushing that. Ellie, I'm so sorry. I think you've told me that in chat before. How are they doing? I think my mom is on a decline. Last 2 phone calls, she was not remembering things and then pretending like she didn't remember what I was assuming is embarrassment. Yeah, I mean, see what kind of supplements she's taking because honestly, when I started taking like dandelion root with the turmeric and with green tea, I had a huge change in my mental clarity. Huge change. And I mean it was noticeable right away within like 2 days. It was literally like I drove, when you're driving through the top of a mountain and there's all fog and then you hit the clearing? That's what that felt like, instantaneous. Like somebody just lifted a veil of fog off my head. So look into some supplements, see what she's taking, and make sure that she's not taking any of those statin drugs or like anything that's going to give her increased brain fog. Because those are horrible. When they had me on the Lipitor, it was literally creating holes in my memory. It was really, really bad. So just be careful. And you said, I'm worried about this mass they found with my daughter because we read on the CT results it's saying the mass isn't indicative of appendicitis. No cancer markers in her blood, though. I mean, she could have like maybe a little herniation of the organ, which they would be able to fix. Just don't think, the dark thoughts. Don't manifest that. Keep it. I know how hard it is to keep positive, but just keep positive. Keep thinking it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. And you said so we're hopeful when she has surgery at the end of the month. Oh, that's good. That they finally get to test this mass, I'll be able to breathe. Absolutely. That is good news. That is good news. I'm glad they're, letting it happen because they're so reluctant to do surgeries that aren't like uber expensive now. They like doing all like the micro surgeries and all that. The regular surgery, they're like, man, it's boring. That's not exactly profitable. But I'm glad that they're gonna do that. And I hope everything works out. And yeah, I do. And I'm sure she's gonna be fine, honey. Uh, Ellie said, at Inya, the scary part is I told her something, and about 30 minutes later, she asked me the same question. Not remember, she asked me, and I already answered. That's what happens, honey. I mean, Winning will say something to me, and I'll repeat it back to him 5 minutes after he says it, and he's like, I just said that. I'm like, you did? It's okay. I'm like, all right. Well, because he knows it upsets me. But I literally will not remember that he said, and he could have spent like 40 fucking minutes telling me like intricately about this thing. And it's just like, I blink and it's like refresh and the blank page. And I'm like, oh, you know what I was reading about or I heard about on some stream? Da-da-da. He's like, yes, I literally just told you about that. I'm like, oh, he's like, it's okay. I'm like, thank you. Because I get embarrassed and I kind of need that forgiveness because I feel so bad that I forgot. Because it was important to me when he said it, but my brain was like, no, we're going to etch a sketch right now. Shake, shake, shake. And then in like 3 weeks, I'll remember that thing that I forgot. I remember. And he's like, good. I'm glad. Moving on now that that's old. Amp 33, love and strength at Inhumans. Hello, Amp. Welcome, welcome. Let's see how far we can go. Amp say good day, Wolfram. Wolfram brings all the peeps to the yard. Elifant, there's no crying in baseball, but also be tender, damn it. We birth babies and it's okay to be tender. Yeah. It's difficult for me. It really is. It's difficult for me to be tender. Amp said, get on your broom and come down for a cup of always. Days of the hot toad were bad, in my opinion, at talking shit. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of amphibians anymore. But luckily, I only think of him when really bad shit happens or somebody brings him up because he doesn't get to rent space in my head because he's not worth it. That's what happens when you're irrelevant. In your MERS, I went into survival mode or something. I didn't cry for a few weeks. And then I cried Friday night, woke up Saturday and couldn't open my eyes. I need to learn enough emotional maturity. Honey, to schedule it for a morning way before bed. Stop. I mean, you feel what you feel when you feel it. And you know we're here. You know you could always reach out to me. I'm never going through so much that I don't have time for you. Never. You know, my girls, my boys too, y'all mean the world to me. So yeah, I might not reply in that instant, but I will reply. I will get back to you. And you know, we'll cry together if that's what it takes. That's fine. But reach out. Don't put it all on yourself. You know, that's what I'm here for. My purpose is still taking care of people. I just have to do it. I had to find a different way. Heidi, sometimes we have to get to the end of ourselves and circumstances to be able to feel, to see where he leads us to be and who we truly are. That's true. That's true. Like I said, I think God stopped me for a reason. Amp said, I can remember that my stepmother was considered a nut back in the 70s because she was right into healthy food and vitamins. It's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, we always thought, oh, God, you're one of those hippy dippy people. You believe in, like, you know, St. John's wort and peppercorn and, like, eating fennel seeds instead of, like, fruits and nuts. Like, we always thought that was weird. And now I'm that person. It's just like I'm sitting there going through lists of supplements going, this might work well with this, and this would be a nice little cocktail. And you know what? I get flare-ups around this time of the month. So maybe if I add this just at that time of the month. Yeah, I do that. Because every time my mother's like, oh, you're in pain, take a pill. No, I don't take pain meds. That's why you're in pain. No, because if I take one pain med today, for the pain that I'm in, I'm going to have to keep taking it. And then in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have to take 2 because the one ain't going to be enough. And then I'm going to have to take 4. And then I'm going to have to take 8. And I've been down this road. I don't want to be on pain meds. I don't want to not be in control of who I am and what I'm saying. I don't want my emotions to be all over the fucking place. As it is, I allow them to ebb and flow. But I still have somewhat control over them. It's just when somebody else pushes my buttons, I lose it. But I don't want to be medicated to where I'm no longer me. So rather than dip my toe back in that very toxic pool, I would rather just learn to deal with it in a different way. Now I get the hiccups, some bitch. Um, Chaga first sounds like a short O sound. Chaga, 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 choga, choga, choga. All right. As long as it's spelled that way, I'm good. It's thankfully the internet won't ask me to pronounce it when I do my research on it. I'm just saying. I need a drink. Wait. Much better. And you said maybe coffee flavor without the bitterness because too strong of coffee can be bitter. Absolutely. Thomas really I love Thomas. Thomas is one of my faves. He always comes around. He always has so much like to contribute. I love it. But I had to give him shit about the smell of the coffee. I hope he wasn't offended. He disappeared. Um Yeah, and we still considered non-conventional, which is crazy because our ancestors have been curing stuff for generations without medicine. And you know, lady, that's what pisses me off because my great grandmother probably would have known exactly what to give me to take care of every ailment I have. She never went to the doctor until she broke her hip. She didn't go to the doctor. She didn't go for babies. She didn't go for pregnancy. She didn't go for child. She gave birth in the house. You know, they had the midwife. They never went to doctors. She never ever, even when she went to the hospital, she refused to get the IV because I don't know what you're putting in that. No, no. And they couldn't do it because she was like, no, absolutely not. And she'd have hit them. She didn't give a fuck. But she knew all the herbs because that's what my family in Italy did. They were the wise women. They were the herbalists in the village. You know, so my grandmother knew too. Like my grandmother had different concoctions for everything that was ever wrong with me. The only time I had to go to the doctor for anything was if I needed antibiotics because what she had, didn't work on what I had. But yeah, no, they would have known what to do. So yeah, I got to get back to my roots. Got to get back to my roots. And we're considered radicals because we ask questions. Oh, absolutely. Well, not just radicals. You're considered a troublemaker because you ask questions. Not you're just supposed to just swallow what they give you, just accept it and keep going on. It's a nutty world for sure. It absolutely is. Wild times we live in. Yep. Am said Vax gave me clots in the lungs. Never felt so sick. Yeah, I needed surgery and was required to have the Vax in order to have the surgery. Right? That's how they get you. That's how they get you. I can't like the ways they went about making sure to get that shit inside us is just it was just diabolical. Heidi, a person can have Lyme or lupus yet come up negative on pathology or blood work. And that's the thing. All my blood work said that like none of that was even like causing a red flag. He had to run very specific tests to find out because he said it's one of these 5 things. He said I would bet my career on it. It is one of these 5 things. He really thought it was either lupus or MS though, because of how extreme my case was and how fast it progressed. And he did not want to admit that the jab was responsible and that the jab made it worse, which is why I'm on a spike protein detox right now. And it's got me feeling great. I'm super energetic. I'm sleeping really well. And I've only been on it less than a week. So, I mean, when this one is over, I will definitely be doing, I think I was going to do a month on the spike protein detox and then do the ivermectin. But I think I want to do 1 to 3 months detox to really make my body as healthy and optimized to receiving the ivermectin and the doxycycline as possible because I really don't want anything having to counter it. So I got to talk to Winning and like really like work it out, because that's how he's my sounding board. I say stuff and he picks out like the things where he's like, okay, you said this, but like I think we tried this, or like this doesn't make sense. He's good at pointing out like the weaknesses in my plans and in my arguments. So like we'll discuss that. And I do think though, doing several cycles of it, because they do recommend that you do at least one, but that you do a couple of them. I would like to do at least 3 cycles before I hit the over the counter meds, before I hit the ivermectin. And then before I have to do, because the ivermectin's only a week long. And then right after that is the doxycycline. And that's to eradicate whatever's left of the Lyme bacteria. And I had done the doxycycline before, but she only put me on it for 1 cycle and then was like, oh, it didn't work. But they recommend you do several cycles of it. And she was like, no, it didn't work. And then she wouldn't give it to me again. And I really feel like had she done that, had she prolonged it and like done a few cycles, it would have made a major difference. But now I have to, instead of preventing things from happening, I have to reverse them, which is a lot harder. She said, hell yeah, proud of you. Who are you talking to? Proud of who? Proud of all of us? You can be proud of all of us. Be proud of me, though, because I need it. And yeah, I made an appointment that got a really bad flu a few days before and didn't go. Ah, girl, you gotta go. You know, that's the kind of sense that don't. You made a doctor's appointment, but then you got sick, so you didn't go. You know, in you? Really? That's my kind of like reasoning. Don't do that. Don't be that person. If you're sick, go to the doctor, make him deal with it. Listen with one ear and then go home, do your research. The only reason I think any of us need doctors is for the blood test results. Honestly, I mean, that's pretty much what I went for, just for them to give me like reports and stuff so that I can go and figure it out myself, because they didn't know shit. I mean, my doctor literally sat there and said, I have no idea what to do with you. What? She's like, you have so many issues. I don't even know where to start. Well, hell, doc, if you don't know where to start, how the hell am I supposed to do it? Figured it out, though. Get you a winning. You can't have mine, though. That one belongs to me. Hubby had early onset Alzheimer's. I have 49. There are so many with this disease at the moment. Yeah, because it's the shit we're putting into our bodies. I mean, I really do hope that RFK Jr. can revolutionize the food and like I don't even know how to describe the industry. Just our intake industry on every level. You know, vaccinations, medications. Like I hope he can redo pharma and farming and like all that stuff, because every single thing out there is trying to kill us. It's all trying to kill us. It's all designed to make us weaker and more pliable so that they can control us better. And if they can't control you, they can get rid of you. It's like eugenics on steroids, looking at it with a blind eye and a blindfold while they throw the dart at a wall that might have a target on it. Like, that's where I feel we're at nowadays. Horrible. Staphylococcus borealis is one of those bacterium. Yeah. Wait, I skipped one. Heidi said, Ehlers-Danlos degenerative joint disorder also has similar symptoms. And Staphylococcus borealis is one of those bacterium. Yep. Oh, there's Thomas. Yeah, I'm not sensitive to it, though I take a complete boost of vitamins. Oh, about the zinc and other minerals with the zinc, so the materials are not being depleted, leaving the zinc to build up unused. Yeah, see, that was the thing. Like, the way my doctor told me to take it, it literally was building up in my liver because it wasn't being filtered or broken down, and I didn't have the gallbladder to process it. So it was just little by little by little by little until eventually it made me so sick. I was in the middle of work And everything went woo and topsy-turvy, and I went right down. And I just spectacularly threw up. And my poor boss was like, "Oh my, why is it glowing?" I was like, "Oh my God, like, what just happened?" She was like, "I don't know." She was like, you never pass out." I literally just fainted in the middle of the lobby at the school and then threw up while I was fainted. My body was just expelling it as fast as possible. And then I was sick for like 2 days with weakness, and then I was fine. And I was like, I don't know what that was. And then it happened a year later. And I went to the doctor, and he was like, yeah, no more zinc for you. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, we'll test it. And my zinc was like off the charts. He was like, yeah, it's way too much. He was like, your body's holding on to it and not like getting rid of it when you go to the bathroom or whatever. Because usually your body's good at filtering out the vitamins. Like if you take vitamins and it doesn't need it, you're just going to pee it out. I wasn't doing that. It was going into my liver and I didn't know it. So it was just like I didn't know I had gallbladder disease my entire fucking life until I had 22 gallstones fused together and they were the size of a grapefruit. I was like, it hurts right here. Like, oh, because your husband stabbed you and now you're in shock and your body's like, hey, we found something that's wrong. Here we go. Right here. So that would have killed me too. Because I was like, oh, I don't have health insurance. I'll come back in a couple weeks for the operation. He was like, you'll be dead in 3 days. I was like, what? No, I'm not kidding. He was like, you'll be dead in less than 3 days. He's like, I'm saying 3 days, but that's optimistic. He was like, less than 3 days, you'll be dead. Your pancreas is already shutting down. Your liver's shutting down. I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, this is coming out like today or tomorrow. Oh, okay. Like, oh, I guess so. But yeah, so that's where I was with the gallbladder. But yeah, just be careful, honey, because you are precious. You are. And I don't want anything to happen to you. You're a good soul. Yes, be careful with any natural remedies and supplements. Even too much water can cause toxicity. That's true. That is true. Wolfram said you're stronger today because you got away from that mold spitting AC. That might be, and fresh air instead of being in the city. I mean, that could very well be. You hear I breathe a lot better. Even when I laugh, I'm not like like it really was affecting me where I just could not breathe. I could not breathe. Uh, and when I got here for the first 2 weeks, I was deathly sick. Oh my goodness, the headaches and the shaking and the mood swings and the my stomach was just shot. And it was just like, "Oh my God, but why?" I was so sick, and I think it was my body purging all the crap that had accumulated. I mean, I came here and it's fresh air and it's, lovely filtered water and it's really good grass-fed meats and, stuff like that. So it was just such a different in the quality of life that I was going through that my body was just like, okay, major purge. And it just kicked my ass for 2 solid weeks. And then it took me like 2 weeks to get to normal. And now I feel more like me. I'm alert. I'm awake. I'm excited to do stuff. I'm trying to I walk around singing all the time again. And I'm walking, I go outside and I'm not freaking out over every little fucking thing. And it's just like I'm still emotional, but I'm me. But yeah, no, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. Oh, wait, gotta put this up. This channel is a discussion channel, not a medical advice channel. Call a doctor for medical advice. Yes, I am not a fucking doctor. I'm not in any way, shape, or form giving any kind of medical advice to anybody. I'm simply discussing my journey. And we're gonna bring that to an end very soon. Not the journey, but the stream. Yeah, wipe everything moldy down with a solution of borax and water. And don't clean up the leftover borax as it'll kill mold and fungus and continue to do so from the coating left behind. That was our Jessica. Okay. Just making sure, lady. Thomas, yeah, borax is amazing. I used to put borax. We had loose molding at the bottom of the walls in the kitchen, and that was a breeding ground for bacteria. And I would, and occasionally you'd get like ants or whatever, and I just some of the borax behind the refrigerator and like in that corner. Great. It just I never had a bug problem, and it kept everything nice and clean. Borax really is a really very multifaceted substance. Many, many uses. Puffer, hey lady, good to see you. Dropping love and listening. Hey baby, how you doing? How you doing? Glad you're here, Puff. Wolfram said we can't touch birch trees in Michigan. It's the state tree. See, I could have said something so nasty about you can't touch them, but you can you hug them? I would have been a tree hugger if I didn't, fear the ants that are on the tree and not the ants so much as the spiders. Even when I didn't know that was the state tree though. That's weird. That's not weird. I can't find the word. I'm babbling. Don't mind me. Even when someone says something works for them, never assume it'll also work for you. That's right. Your makeup is completely different. And check for any side effects too, like taurine lowers blood pressure in males and most females, but apparently it raises the blood pressure in pregnant women. I wonder, maybe because they have double the blood volume of women when they're not pregnant. That could be it. And that means the general public individuals may end up having even stronger reactions. So, plus you have to account for where something comes from, what you're doing already. I mean, there's just so much to keep track of, and be sure of even with a doc to do so without is insane. Yeah, see, my docs put me in hospitals, so I'm doing a lot better with my own research. Heidi said there are natural organic companies in Alaska that might sell chocolate. Awesome. I gotta look. Oh, the typos. Glad you can read typonese. Always, baby, always. Heidi said Dr. Living Good. Oh, I called him Good Living before. Dr. Living Good also had articles regarding healthy fasting as well. Awesome. I definitely got to look into those. Getting off doctor prescribed medication 15 years ago was the hardest thing. The detox from legal drugs was hard. Lady, you ain't kidding. I think the only reason that I was able to do it was because I was so determined to get my memory back that I didn't care how listless I felt or how sick to my stomach or nauseous. I wanted to be able to think again. And it was killing me that these pills were depriving me of that. And I mean, when I tell you, Winnie and I sat there for hours going over every single pill I took, and every one of them was given to me against the recommendation of the manufacturer because all the conditions I had it said right on each one. Every single one. It didn't miss one of them. Do not give to someone with asthma, a thyroid condition, or immune disease, or autoimmune disease. Really? And I have all three. And you just loaded me up, and then you tripled the freaking dosage. Like, are you kidding? It's not even like they just said, oh, just take one more dose a day. No, it was, we're going from 1 dose a day to 3 doses a day. And we're going from 300 milligrams. Well, first they went from 100 milligrams to 150 to 300 to 900. So, oh no, like they were ready to kill me. Yeah, so getting off that was hard to do. Some of them we stopped cold turkey, and some of them we had to do like a slow weaning off, and some of them like I had to take for almost a month until I was taking them like so far apart that the effect was negligible, so that when I stopped taking them there was no reaction. But good God, Thomas, now I see you and Winning with something like a blanket. You're fighting over who gets to have it. But the blanket thing is pain. I'm taking this from you. No, this is my pain. How dare you? Yet you're not far off. You're not far off. When I tell you, I told him I'm going to be a lot of work, and he had to think about it. So he didn't make that decision on a whim. And he was like, no, no, you're like, he decided I was worth it and he was going to stay in it no matter what. And he did. He hasn't faltered, not once. And let me tell you something. You ever see Suicide Squad where she goes, I'm told I'm quite vexing? Yeah, you can multiply that by 100 and apply it to me. I am quite vexing to an extreme. So, and I am stubborn. So, and no hair grows on my tongue. So it's not like I'm going to hold back. Lady said, damn, we've not only missed Shelly, we've missed each other by the looks of chat. Shelly's so far back, I can't even see where she is. Oh man, I'm almost caught up. Gabapentin is one of the worst pain meds, out there that cannot be stopped cold turkey. All the nurses I've worked with have spoken on it. Yeah, I do nursing implication med research because of my training. Yep. It was horrible. It was horrible. And when I tell you, it turned me into like this, I couldn't remember moment to moment. I had a whole conversation with my son about chickens in court. Chickens who could not testify in court because they didn't have the right paperwork. Like, there's a stream that I did where I talk about that. And he's sitting there going, did you just fall asleep? I was like, I don't know. Why? What happened? And he was like, you did. And I went on a whole rant. I have no memory of it. Even listening to myself rant about it, I can't believe that came out of my mouth. He thought I was asleep. I was awake. Oh, the Tucker Carlson interview with Means is also on YouTube. That's awesome. Aw. Lady Autumn said, "Aw, I've missed y'all. Aw, we love you. I love you." Agreed, Shelly. My husband doesn't like when I speed up the stream, but you're right. After you speed up enough, everything sounds so slow. It's true. It's true. You're just like, oh my God, it's like pulling teeth. Medical grade honey or dark royal honey helps with a lot of things. Yep. No more than 3 tablespoons daily. No younger than 2 years old. Awesome. I get my honey from the Amish. I've never heard of medical grade honey. Huh. There's a lot of stuff I have to look into. Manuka honey is a form of medical grade honey. I used Meta honey patches for my dad's diabetic wounds and used it for my dog's wound care from her allergies. Her tail is almost healed. I mean, I knew about honey for allergies, for like seasonal allergies, because it gets you acclimated to the pollen that's in the area so you don't have a reaction. But I never thought of it for wound care. Oh my goodness. See, and I love honey. I know there are people who don't like honey. Nick is one of them. He said he hates honey. I said that's just because you're just wrong. But I love honey. I do. Yes, the honey from a New Zealand plant. Awesome. Tom Anderson, thank you for that. Pain pills, yeah, those are the strongest and cause the highest level of pain. I mean, in the end, they cause the highest level of pain. That's the thing. They didn't alleviate my pain at all. They didn't alleviate my depression. They didn't help with my anxiety. All the things they were supposed to take care of, the more they like gave me more, the more I felt it, the more acutely aware I was of what I was feeling that I wasn't supposed to be feeling anymore. Terrible. There's sour honey that's amazing too. Jatai honey is produced through Brazil. You guys know like a lot of stuff. Oh my goodness. That's why I say chat is good, chat is wise, chat knows all because you guys really do. Elephant, a good coffee alternative is chocolate tea made from cocoa shells. Give me a few and I'll find. Ooh, it's bitter like coffee. You said wolves aren't allowed to have chocolate. Stop it. Oh, it's a chocolate tea. I gotta look that up. See, because I do love my coffee, but if you can incorporate chocolate, shit, I will pick the chocolate every time. Had a keychain that says "Put down the chocolate, no one gets hurt." There you go. Yeah, no, you step away from my chocolate. Shelly had to flush the Hoboken out of her. Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. Not the old Hoboken, but the new Hoboken. I definitely had to get rid of. But you know how it is. I'm a Jersey girl. You can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl. Hopefully, I'll just get rid of all the environmental toxins from Jersey and keep the attitude. Heidi said, if interested, I'll find the ivermectin and remdesivir research I did when my dad was in the hospital. One of them should not be used with those who have had respiratory issues because one can cause respiratory shutdowns. Yet the remdesivir I was told to stay away from um, if I had like asthma or whatever. But the ivermectin was supposed to um, be more compatible with everything I've got going on and supposed to be more helpful. But yeah, if you have any research on that and you want to send it my way, that'd be great. I always look for more information. You can never have enough information ever. Thomas said, quick test I found works on doctors. If they claim herbs have no medicinal value, then ask them, why is Mary Jane legal? Are not drugs a term for medicine? Yes. So if MJ if so, yeah, it has no medicinal value. MJ does have medicinal value for me because it helps me shut my brain off at night to go to sleep. But that's it. Like, it doesn't really do much for pain anymore because I don't take it regularly. I literally only smoke like 2-3 puffs at night and then I go right to sleep because it just knocks me out. But yeah, there was a time where I was all day, every day, like just hitting that, and it did nothing but make me loopy. And it made me act different than I prefer to act. I'll put it that way. I mean, it turned me into a raving bitch. Like, I said whatever I want to say, and I was just mean. So and I had no inhibitions at all. And it was not a good look for me. It really wasn't, because it's not who I am. That's the dog and pony show. And I don't have it in me to do that all day long, every day, or at all much anymore. Once in a while, I'll throw a dick joke out there just because it's fucking funny. But yeah, no, nothing like I used to do. It can't have any drug value either. No. Uh, Lady said I got off the meds because after my first set of twins, I was on so much stuff. It started with postpartum depression, and then I felt my ex husband was setting things up to check me into a loony bin. He probably was. Probably was. Always go with your instincts. If you think somebody's out to get you, they probably are. I'm glad you got off all that crap, though. I am, because it makes you feel crazier than you actually are. Puffer, yeah, practicing medicine and can't fucking read. Sorry, feel the frustration and that. Yep. Uh, so I went and stayed with a friend and got off everything and started to plan my escape. It took years. Yep. Yep. But you got out and you got better, and look at you now. You're fucking lady awesome. Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, I call you that for a reason. Heidi, like others have said, seek medical advice. Everyone is individual, reacts differently. Mushroom coffee is another thing to try. My sister, who's in integrative medicine, loves it. What does that do? Choked on my own saliva. Which, you know me, I don't choke. What does mushroom coffee do? MJ, raw buds off the stalk in my smoothie is so fucking medicinal for me. Raw cannabinoids help my inflammation so much. You know, I've never tried that. Just taking the raw buds off and grinding them up, because I always, do the decarb. But I should try that, because the inflammation really does get to me, like week to week, day to day, not so much because I can deal with it. But then when I have those flare ups, like I have a small flare up in my legs today, but that's because my mother stressed me out. When I get stressed out, I do I do tend to have a bad flare up. So I try to be all like as even keel as I can and as I don't give a fuck as I can, but it don't always work, especially with her. She loves to push those buttons. I'm gonna try that though. I have enough, so I'll grind it up. What I mean, you put it in a smoothie. Do you put it with like yogurt? Because I know that it usually goes better with something that's got a higher fat content. So I don't know, but let me know, Puff. Apparently, Iran just attacked Israel. Something they kept saying would spark World War III. So I guess we'll find out. Oh, that's great. That's great. October 1st. Woohoo! The longshoremen are all on strike, and what else? I mean, God, if you're listening, I mean, we could stand a little bit of a break. Can life just be boring? I remember when life was boring. It was great. Can I have that back? Iran, Israel, it's on, apparently. Damn it. Great. Lovely. Well, looks like I'm being censored. Not surprised. Honey, last night in Winning's chat, all we were doing was talking about like innocuous things. Do you know YouTube disconnected me a total of 14 times in 2 hours? I'm sorry, in 1 hour. It was into 1 hour. And I was like, what the fuck? And then we went over to Rumble and everything was fine. I was there for 2 hours, everything was fine. But 14 times it disconnected me and booted me out of chat. It disconnected me 14 times, booted me completely out 3 times. Like where it just went boop and like my YouTube was just a blank screen. And I was like, are you kidding me? It was so frustrating. And I wasn't saying anything bad. I really wasn't. I wasn't saying anything dirty. I wasn't saying anything political. I wasn't saying anything bad. I think it didn't like my take on Biden though. When I said I don't mind this senility as much as the lying, because I mean senility that's going to happen, but lying is intentional. All right, and Ellie said, well, Lady Awesome said, well, I am a totally different person than I was back then. Yes, you are. I don't know what you were like back then, but you're fucking awesome now. I mean, it's made from cacao shells. Oh, cool. I gotta get that link. I gotta come back and get that link because it won't let me do it here. But every time I try to click on it, it just tries to put it up on the screen. Thank you for that, Ellie. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, fresh raw. Whatever smoothie you want. I do a frozen bananas and yogurt, strawberries, and like a half a cup of milk. Well, because I mean, I have a lot of yogurt and stuff like that. Like I have Greek yogurt, I have regular yogurt, probiotic yogurt. So I mean, that's a good way to use that. But yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'll let you know how that goes. Thank you for that. Thomas, okay, never mind. I guess I was wrong. I had top chat in the other window. Top chat will kick your ass every time. It helps me for like 3 to 6 months before I hanker for another. Really? Huh. I'm definitely got to try that. Last, did that actually go to Amazon's listing? I don't know. I can't click on it. There have been network issues too, though, since the hurricane hit, apparently. Yeah, I know. Everybody's having a hard time with the internet lately. Well, shit. I don't know. I didn't push it. I love my ladies. Just blend it well and don't think about the bud swallow. If you spit while you roll, it might not be for you. I think if I put vanilla in it, I probably won't taste the bud at all. I have that strong Madagascar vanilla. Just a couple drops of that in there and should be good to go. I always doctor my smoothies. They never taste like they're supposed to. They always taste like some like tropical, like they all wind up tasting like pina colada, believe it or not. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But I mean, I do really love pina colada. So maybe I just unintentionally make it that way, like subconsciously. YouTube is cracking down on ad blockers again, probably having adverse effects on chat. Yeah, I don't have ad blockers, but they just don't like me. Cacao tea, look it up on Amazon. Davidson's Organic Cacao Bliss, loose leaf cacao, 16-ounce bag. Cool. Thank you very much. I will do that. Shows me that I am not top chatting according to YouTube. Wow. Oh, sure, Shelly, you got the. I will. I will make that smoothie my own. Thank you, Puffer, for that. I really appreciate that. Ellie said Biden showered with Ashley. Oh goodness, she's his minor child. Biden is a pedo. She's testing out her, her commenting abilities. Y'all kill me. All right, I am caught up. Aren't you proud of me? I got all caught up. Look at that. Ooh, I got caught up at 2:45 at the 2:45 mark. See, look at that. What browser are you using though? Opera and Brave both have built-in ad block. I'm on Chrome. I don't mess with browsers. I am very low tech savvy. Okay, if Winning doesn't say you need to change this or go do this, I don't do it because if I mess with it, it's just gonna screw up. Thank you, Lady Awesome. She's proud of me. Shelly, start reading labels. Seed oil causes inflammation. Yes, no, I'm aware of that. You told me that. Oh God. I think almost a year ago you told at least a year ago. Yeah, because I was streaming with Darth and that came up. And you had told me about the seed oils. That was the first time I ever heard about the seed oils. So yeah, no, I do. I'm very careful about that kind of stuff. So I've become a label reader. I mean, I was a label reader for my son because he had the peanut allergy, but I never really cared about what I put in my, whatever I shoved in my pie hole, it was fine. Proud, love you, enjoy the day, hug them kids for us. Not man like a perv, like a mother. Yes, I will give them. I'll give them a what do I call it? Give them a smudge. Give them a smudge. It's like a combination hug, kiss, love, like just a mama bear hug. But thank you for that. Well, I got to go return mom's cards. See you all on the flip side. Thank you, Heidi, for contributing, for actually like telling us what you really think. I appreciate the information from all of you. I do. I'm so glad I did this stream. I was hesitant about it because it's a little more revealing than I like. I've been seeing peanut butter started getting dirty oils and dirty shit. Yep. That's why you got to go full organic. I even go for the one that you got to mix because it separates, because that just feels more natural to me. It also tastes better. I don't know. It just tastes better. But yeah, no. So thank you guys for coming on this journey with me and continuing on. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And please remember, if you have the inclination, the time, the opportunity, reach out to the lead attorney, to any of his streams if you see him streaming, and just send prayers and healing his way, because he's an awesome dude. And my heart breaks for what he's going through. It really does. I don't like seeing anybody in pain or scared or lost. Angry Prepper said his fire department gave a complete alert about the 7th and 8th possibly having something pop off, something they typically don't do unless it's pretty serious. Oh, damn. That's great. Thanks for the heads up, though. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to hit end stream, and it's supposed to play the outro automatically. That's a new feature of StreamYard, which they're trying to, put forward. Thanks for that, I think. No, Heidi, I know I'm awkward sometimes with my words because, like I said, it's hard for me to articulate sometimes when I'm very grateful for something, because I feel like I don't want to overdo it, but that I don't feel like I put forth like as much gratefulness as I feel. I don't just like I don't know how to get the happy medium. But no, I mean, I love that you came in and gave me all the information. I appreciate it more than you know. I really do. That's why I do these, so you guys can get in here and share what you know. Because as much as I know, I don't know shit. I'd rather just keep getting information and always keep doing my research. You know, I've said it before. It's not a good day for me unless I'm learning something. But no reflection on you as being facetious. Well, then bite me then. All right. I am out of here, everybody. You have a wonderful day. I will hopefully see you in Winnings tonight for the VP debate. And I will also see you in the Funny Papers. Bye.
Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. 4 a.m. at a diner, stop singing, living on a
And
prayer.
doggone it, people like me.
I'm thinking maybe you're a Jersey girl with all those highlights in your hair. No other girl can move like you. We pump our fists, damn right it's true. And I don't care what they might say, they'll never get us anyway. So be my Jersey girl, and take a little ride with me tonight. And let's get dirty, girl. I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. The way you turn it up, turn me on, and then you take it off. Make it hot, make it loud. We'll wake the whole town. Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Be